Hello, my name is Pamela Swanson. Welcome to my instructional design project titled Servant Leadership Cultivating Growth Through Service. This course is hosted on Talent LMS and built in Articulate Rise. It was designed to meet Liberty University's assignment criteria by demonstrating strong alignment among objectives, learning strategies, assessments, and technology integration. The course introduces learners to servant leadership as both a biblical and practical leadership framework. The learning objectives appear on the first page so students understand exactly what they will learn and demonstrate by the end of the course. Module 1, Introduction and Foundations of Servant Leadership. This module establishes the biblical and theoretical foundation for servant leadership. Learners begin by exploring the guided questions. What does it mean to lead by serving first? The design uses short paragraphs, images, and interactive blocks to reduce cognitive load and maintain engagement. Students watch a short Synthesia video introducing the concept and are then moved directly into the reading assignments, which provide the biblical and theoretical foundation for this module. We begin with Robert K. Greenleaf's essay of The Servant as Leader. Below, the scriptures list the KJV Bible and provides the biblical anchors for this session. James 1:19, Romans 12:15, 1 Corinthians 4:2, Ephesians 4:11 through 12, and Acts 44 through 45. Access is streamlined through two buttons. Servant as a Leader opens the essay, where the learner can easily find their reading assignments. The Bible Online button opens the KJV passages in a new tab. To consolidate understanding, I've included two reflection questions tied to pages 1 through 8 of The Servant as Leader, inviting learners to connect to Greenleaf's servant first definition with the verses they just read, and to identify which servant leadership characteristic stands out most. Finally, learners complete a short private lesson reflection in Google Forms. The button opens in a new tab. Responses are submitted there. The learners simply close the form tab and return here to continue. As we continue, the lesson invites learners to pause and reflect on a powerful guiding question. What does it mean to lead by serving first? This question transitions the learner from theory into self-examination, connecting Greenleaf's first principle to real-world leadership behavior. In the written content, I provide learners with definitions and purpose of servant leadership as the foundation for this course. I have included pictures, interactive accordions, the bullet points for the servant leadership 5 characteristics and their biblical foundations is animated to move into the screen as the learner scrolls. Next, I designed a situational carousel to give learners an opportunity to see servant leadership in real-world context. Up to this point in the course, learners have explored the principles and biblical foundations of servant leadership, so I wanted to shift them from conceptual understanding to applied practice. After the situational carousel, I incorporated scripture callouts to anchor each leadership characteristic in biblical truth. The purpose of these callouts is twofold. First, they establish biblical foundations of servant leadership, aligning the course with Liberty University's mission of integrating faith and learning. Each verse directly connects to one of Greenleaf's servant leadership traits, such as listening, empathy, stewardship, and building community, showing that these values are not just leadership principles but spiritual disciplines. Second, from an instructional design perspective, these callouts serve as reinforcement tools. By pairing key traits to short, relevant verses, learners can quickly make conceptual and emotional connections between scripture and leadership behavior. To reinforce application and decision-making skills, I built an interactive scenario where learners analyze a workplace situation through the lens of a servant leader. This scenario presents a common challenge. Learners are prompted to consider how the outcome might change if the leader practiced servant leadership. From an instructional design standpoint, the purpose of this activity is to move learners from theory into practice. It aligns with the apply and evaluate levels of Bloom's taxonomy by asking them to assess leadership behaviors, predict outcomes, and reflect on ethical implications. I've added downloadable handouts for the students in each module. This one is Servant Leadership, 5 Key Characteristics and Their Biblical Foundations. The button in Rise drives them to their downloadable PDF. The section How to Be Humble features a YouTube video based on Philippians 2:3 as a reflective meditation element in this module. YouTube is an excellent tool for integrating diverse perspectives and expert voices into your online courses. It allows learners to hear from practitioners and teachers beyond the course author, helping them connect biblical principles to real-world leadership contexts. This particular reflection reinforces the theme of humility, one of the cornerstones of servant leadership, and invites learners to pause and meditate on how valuing others above oneself shapes ethical decision-making. Embedding a video directly within Rise keeps the experience seamless for learners, allowing them to watch, reflect, and continue without leaving the course environment. After the Philippians 2:3 reflection, I included a formative knowledge check to help students reinforce what they've learned. In this case, the quiz focuses on 5 key characteristics of servant leadership and their biblical foundations, ensuring that the learner can connect theory to Scripture in a meaningful way. The questions are designed to promote reflection and retention rather than memorization. The formative assessment serves as 2 purposes. First, it allows learners to practice applying the 5 biblical characteristics, listening, empathy, stewardship, commitment to growth, and building community, to realistic workplace scenarios. Secondly, it provides feedback in real time, helping learners identify any misconceptions and revisit material as needed. Formative assessments like this are critical for mastering learning. They don't assign grades. Instead, they function as checkpoints that strengthen comprehension and build learner confidence before the summative evaluation at the end of the course. The second module follows the same overall structure as the first, maintaining consistency and predictability for learners. The Synthesia video introduces servant leadership as a practice, showing how the theory comes alive in everyday workplace interactions. It demonstrates how humility, empathy, and stewardship influence real decisions and relationships on the job. After viewing the video, learners engage in a live discussion with the instructor and their peers. This synchronous activity allows them to reflect on the introduction and Module 1 and to share how they've started applying these principles in their work or ministry. To streamline access, I've included clear instructions and the interactive button directly into the Rise course. When learners click it, they are taken straight to the scheduled Zoom meeting, minimizing barriers and ensuring a seamless learning experience. After the live discussion, learners move into the reading assignment section. This portion deepens their understanding of servant leadership, how it works in daily practice. I intentionally selected pages 9 through 16 of Robert K. Greenleaf's The Servant as Leader to help learners explore how leaders connect service-first thinking and decision-making awareness and foresight. Alongside Greenleaf's work, learners study scripture from the King James Version Bible, specifically Matthew 20:26 through 28 and John 13:12 through 15. Each reading is accompanied by interactive buttons that open the essay and the Bible online, ensuring accessibility while keeping the learner within the flow and the Rise course. Learners engage with expandable accordions and flip cards to explore how servant leadership looks in real workplace situations. Each accordion presents a leadership behavior, such as listening before making decisions. By designing it this way, I'm helping learners move beyond passive reading, while the flip cards add interactivity and visual engagement. All modules in this course contain interactive elements that invite learners to engage actively with the content rather than simply read or watch. Each interaction was intentionally selected to promote reflection, application, and retention. This combination of interactivity and applied learning creates a learner-centered environment that mirrors how servant leadership itself functions through participation, connection, and shared growth. I chose to use the locked feature in Articulate Rise for both quizzes and interactive scenarios. This means the learner must complete each required section, such as reading, video, or reflection, before moving forward. It also helps maintain instructional integrity, especially when self-paced courses where learners might be tempted to skip ahead. Scripture callouts are included in every module throughout the course. These provide biblical context that anchor each leadership principle in Scripture, reinforcing the Christ-centered foundation of leadership. Each module includes PDF downloadable supplemental materials and help resources to support continued learning beyond the course. These materials serve as a quick reference that reinforce key concepts like characteristics of servant leadership, workplace applications, biblical foundations. Each module contains a Padlet discussion forum, designed to promote reflection and peer interaction as an asynchronous format. These forums encourage learners to share personal insights, respond to scriptural-based prompts, and engage in meaningful dialogue with one another. Padlet was intentionally selected because it allows for student engagement. They post written reflections, upload images, or even record short videos. This flexibility supports diverse learning preferences and deepens connection across the learning community. The course concludes with a summative assessment titled Servant Leadership in Action. This final activity brings together everything that learners have explored across the modules, from the biblical foundations and leadership contrasts to practical applications in the workplace. The assessment includes 10 questions in multiple choice, true, false, and scenario-based formats. Each question provides immediate feedback, reinforcing the servant leadership principles covered in earlier lessons. The assessment was intentionally built inside of Articulate Rise rather than the LMS itself. Doing so allows Rise to track completion status, scoring, and pass and fail outcomes through SCORM reporting when uploaded into LMS. This ensures learners must complete all modules and assessments before receiving credit, maintaining both instructional integrity and compliance within the LMS grading standards. Talent LMS then produces a certification, rewarding the student for a successful completion of the course. After the summative assessment, I added in a course completion block containing a GIF that I created in Canva using elements and text. This peppers in fun for a well-deserved accomplishment. For the LMS export, I selected SCORM 1.2 as the publishing format to ensure compatibility with Talent LMS and accurate tracking of learners' progress. The course is set to track using quiz results, meaning learner completion and success are tied directly to the final assessment, Servant Leadership in Action quiz. This ensures that grades are passed back to the LMS once the learner meets the required passing score. The report option is configured as passed incomplete, which clearly communicates whether a learner has successfully met the course requirements or still needs to complete it. Finally, the exit course link is enabled to allow learners to close the course easily and return to the LMS environment, ensuring both smooth transition and clear completion record. In addition, if a learner cannot complete the course while in it, when using the exit course link, the SCORM package will remember where the student was when the student returns to reopen the course. It will pick up where the student left off. One of my favorite parts of developing this course was designing the interactive reflective elements. I wanted learners to experience servant leadership, not just read about it. Incorporating scripture callouts and real world scenarios allowed me to ground the content in both biblical truth and practical application. I also really enjoyed building the Synthesia video lessons and Padlet discussions. These tools made the learning experience more engaging and personal. From a design perspective, my favorite technical element was integrating Rise interactive features like flip cards, accordions, and embedding media to manage cognitive load while maintaining learner-centered flow. Those elements truly brought the course to life.